We are a country that on occasion dresses ourselves in faith to suit us. But the lie at the center of so much religion is that God can fit our agenda. That's not what MCC stands for. We are not trying to find a God that fits the agenda of LGBT people. We are trying to say that actually we are part of God's agenda. Not that God is our agenda. Which means that even though that central issue of our inclusion by the nature of our sexuality, we know is done and dusted in God, there are going to be so many other things which are going to make us feel so damn awkward that God has to have God's own agenda. And when faced with disaster, I'm afraid that agenda is often made abundantly clear that it is not vengeance. I heard people say to me, oh well, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Yeah. What does that say? Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Mine. Not Clinton Crawshaw's, not yours. God's. So there's no easy words that can be said to encapsulate the whole horror of 9/11 and everything that's happened in a sermon topic which leads people to go away thinking, oh, wonderful wise words. All there is a mess which must be addressed by each and every one of you. And at the center of that mess is the issue of forgiveness and the response that that forgiveness is going to draw out of you. I mentioned, I think last week, or if not last week, certainly elsewhere, that when I was up in Washington for an human rights campaign, one of the staffers confided in me that Mary Landrieu considered 23 letters to be a major response, and that she would actually consider changing her opinion on something if she got that sort of response from her people. Because the fact is, people just don't bother. People don't bother. They don't write letters. They don't ring up. They don't turn up. I was astonished as an Englishman. I was absolutely flabbergasted that I could just wander into Congress and speak to people. I mean, what? I mean, there was less security there than there was at the local parish offices in New Orleans. I wandered in and I spoke to various senators and congress people about the issues affecting the LGBT community and especially transgender rights. And I thought, my God, why isn't this place besieged with these angry people you hear about all over the country? Why aren't they here doing something about it? Instead of spewing hatred in the middle of Alabama or wherever. Each and every one of you can actually do something about this if your conscience and your prayers and your discernment lead you to believe that there are major problems here, that things are profoundly broken. And if the prayer, which I hope you will give to this issue around forgiveness and around vengeance and around alternatives, because trust me, there are alternatives. The reason I gave some numbers is not because I want to devalue what happened, but to say actually there's a great deal of solidarity between the American experience and what's happened around the world. You know, over 3,000 people died in the Northern Ireland trials. Over 3,000 in a country of 1.5 million. That's the only people that there are in Northern Ireland. It's tiny. 1.5 million. If you were to scale that up equivalently, that would be like hundreds of thousands being killed in a terrorist attack on America. That didn't end because we went to war with Dublin. That didn't end because we bombed Southern Ireland out of existence. That ended because he ended up sitting down and speaking to the IRA. That took a huge amount of humility because successive governments from Margaret Thatcher and before her had just decided that they were so angry, they just had to show strength. But in showing strength, they didn't realize that, you know, the opposition can get just as angry as you can. That plays both ways. And ultimately, the only thing that mended it was sitting down and talking to the people that she spent the last 20 years portraying as demons and subhuman beasts. Anyway, I have nothing more to say, except that I hope and pray distill this whole 9/11 down to an easy jingoistic commemoration in the calendar. Remembrance Day back at home is now an excuse to have military parades and fly the Union flag and endless, bands playing oom-pa-pa music and God Save the Queen and Rule Britannia and all the rest of it. It's been completely forgotten that, to begin with, it was a serious exercise in trying to get to grips with the Holocaust of the Great War, the First World War. So as we commemorate 9/11, it's not going to be, there's just no easy way around it. There's just no easy way around it. Tackling those difficult issues is the only Christian response to what happened. And accepting that actually, they really are our issues. They're not the issues of them in Washington. Them in Washington wouldn't do anything unless they felt they could do it. Them in Washington wouldn't do anything unless they thought that it was broadly in tune with the likes and dislikes of the American people. Them in Westminster, back in London, tend to get running scared as soon as people start creating, kicking up a stink. Please, leave this place not with a nice spiritual contentment over a commemoration of the dearly departed, but leave this place with the confusion that is inherent in the whole issue. It's a long way from being solved. It's still going on today. There are still people who have never been tried for any crime sitting down there in Guantanamo Bay. 10 years on. What we have is their word for it, that they need to be there. Are we going to be a place like